Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Pavitra Madhavi Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All Guru Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj is Vrinda from Baltimore.
Hare Krishna, Vanda Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam, all Guru Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you so much for joining, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. This is Preethi Dasi from Dallas.
Hare Krishna, Sita Preethi Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you so much for joining, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Pavitra Madhavi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devdasi. Hare Krishna.
Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you so much for joining, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj, and all glories to the assembled devotees. This is Tiffany in Pennsylvania. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Tiffany Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you so much for joining, Mataji. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Shama Gauri Dasi from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna, Shama Gauri Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you so much for joining, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all the assembled devotees. This is Indu from Lincoln.
Hare Krishna, Indu Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you so much for joining, Mataji. Hare Krishna, is there anyone else who wants to introduce? Okay, Mataji, then can we start recording? Welcome to Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. Today we are very fortunate to have Her Grace Preethi Vilasini Mataji to enlighten us on Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrta. So today is the conclusion session, Falshuddhi and summary. So thank you so much, Mataji, for the wonderful session, and thank you so much for your valuable association. So now I would like to hand over the call to you, Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Pavitra Madhavi Mataji. Thank you so much for your warm introduction, and thanks to everyone who joined today. So we are very, very happy today to do our final session on Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrta that we have been doing for 2 years now. We started about 2 years back, Brihad Bhagavatamrta. And we have done 23 sessions on book 1, and this is the 45th session of book 2. So 23 plus 45, and weak in mathematics, so do the math. I don't know what it is. So anyway, that's what our Brihad Bhagavatamrta study has been. But in spite of doing so many sessions, if you ask, have we really studied it in detail? The answer is no. We have just scratched the surface. We have just touched upon the essential points in Brihad Bhagavatamrta as laid down by Srila Sanatana Goswami. So that is all we have done, and that is all we can do also. So let's start off with our final class. This is Brihad Bhagavatamrta, Book 2, The Journey of Gopakumar, and it is session 45. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Krupatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Deenatarinam. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Radhanatha Swami Nitinamani. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamani. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirdvisesha Shunyavadi Paschartadeshtarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. My humble obeisances to all the Vaishnavas on the call. My humble obeisances to all the Vaishnavas who have joined us through this journey. Thank you so much for being a part of this. All glories to Srila Sanatana Goswami, the author of Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrta, who has given us this precious gem of Brihad Bhagavatamrta, unparalleled scripture in the entire universe. So just a brief of what we have done in our previous few sessions. So we saw that in the previous two sessions, Parikshit Maharaj was winding up his narration from Mother Uttara on the glories of Sri Bhagavatamrita. Mother Uttara was hearing from Parikshit, and as Parikshit was finishing the narration, Mother Uttara wanted to hear more, and similarly, Janamejaya was hearing from Sage Jaimini on the other end, was also wanting to hear more on the Brihad Bhagavatamrita. So that is when the glories of Vrajabhumi was described in great detail, and the glories of the Vrajavasis were described in great detail. And we saw how Parikshit Maharaj was glorifying the insentient objects in Vrajabhumi, and then he started glorifying the forest dwellers in Vrajabhumi, then the cowherd boys, the devotees who are in parental affection with the Lord, and then finally he took a lot of time describing the glories of the gopis of Vrindavan, especially the younger gopis of Vrindavan, who loved Krishna so much as their life and soul. So, after speaking in great detail about the glories of all these Vrajavasis, finally a beautiful verse was chanted by Sri Parikshit. He said, Jayati Janani Vaso Devaki Janmavado Yaduvara Parishat Svaidor Virasyanna Dharmam Sthirachara Vrajinatna Susmita Shri Mukena Vrajapura Vanitanam Vardayan Kamadevam. He said, Sri Krishna, the ultimate resort of all living entities, is also known as Devaki Nandan or Yashoda Nandan. He is the son of Devaki and Yashoda. He is the guide of the Yadu dynasty, and with his mighty arms, he kills everything inauspicious and every man who is impious. By his presence, he destroys all misfortune for all living entities, moving and inert. His blissful smile always increases the loving desires of the gopis of Vrindavana. May he be glorious and happy always. This is Canto 10, Chapter 90, verse number 48 of Sri Bhagavatam. So this is the concluding verse of Shukadev Goswami when he was narrating the glories of Sri Krishna in the 10th canto. Towards the end of the 10th canto, towards the end of chapter 90, he recites this very beautiful verse. And this beautiful verse has 6 key points. So the 6 key points are, one is that Krishna is the ultimate resort of all living entities. He is Jananivasa. Then the point 2 is that he is also known as Devaki Nandana or Yashoda Nandana. The third point is that he is the guide of the entire Yadu dynasty. With his mighty arms, he kills everything that is inauspicious. And then the next point is that he destroys all misfortune for all living entities, moving and inert. And finally, with his blissful smiling face, he increases the happiness of the gopis of Vrindavan. So it's a very, very lovely verse that was chanted by Shukadeva Goswami in Bhagavatam. And the same verse is being repeated by Parikshit Maharaj to conclude his recitation of the Brihad Bhagavatamrta. So just like how at the end of any narration, one would like to properly invoke auspiciousness to glorify the supremacy of the Supreme Lord. So Parikshit Maharaj also, he decided to choose this verse to glorify the Supreme Lord because he wanted to follow in the footsteps of the spiritual master, Srila Shukadev Goswami, who chose this verse in the Bhagavatam. When Shukadev Goswami spoke this verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam, he spoke it with so much love that actually he was trying to drink all the pastimes of Sri Krishna that he had mentioned throughout the 10th canto with his two arms, cupping it, holding it together. He was trying to contain everything within his palms, and he was trying to drink it in this one verse. So he put everything possible into this verse and he was trying to drink it. Just like how sage Agastya once he drank the entire ocean. So in history, long time back, it so happened that the Devas and Asuras, they were fighting. And at that time, the Asuras went and hid within the oceanic waters. And the Devas were not able to find the Asuras at that time. So they requested sage Agastya to come and drink up the entire oceanic water so that they could spot the Asuras. And Agastya did that. He came and with his mystic power, he drank the entire water. And then the Asuras were spotted and the Devas could win over the Asuras. So this is there in ancient history. So similarly, Srila Shukadeva Goswami, he was trying to drink the entire ocean of Krishna's pastimes by using this one verse. And following in his footsteps, Parikshit Maharaj was also trying to repeat the same verse so that he could drink the entire nectar of Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrta by chanting this one verse like his spiritual master. So this is very much the synopsis of all the pastimes of Sri Krishna. And in the Bhagavatam, in the commentary, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he tells that Shukadev Goswami has composed this very beautiful verse in present tense. He didn't say that Krishna performed these pastimes. Krishna was there. He says Krishna is still present. He's still doing all this because he wanted everyone not to lament that Krishna is not present today. So he's trying to console all living entities who are lamenting for the fact that Krishna is not present today in his, in his manifest pastimes to give us happiness. He's saying, no, don't worry about it. Krishna is still present. He's still manifesting his pastimes non-stop even today. He's reminding all the listeners that the Lord is eternally present in his name, in his holy name, in his holy abode, and in the glories of Sri Krishna. The entire Bhagavatam is a personification of Krishna. It is non-different from Krishna. The entire Bhagavatamrta is about Krishna and his dear devotees. So when we hear the glories of Krishna and when we hear the glories of his great devotee, Krishna is present. So we should have that faith, and that is the reason Srila Shukadeva Goswami, when he composed this very final pinnacle verse, he wanted to do it in present tense to remind all the readers that Krishna is continuously present. So therefore he uses the word Jayati. He is victorious, not that he was victorious. Krishna is continuously victorious because his victory is there within the hearts of all the devotees who are hearing his pastimes, who are chanting his names, and who are residing in his abode. Whenever you think about Krishna, when you're constantly thinking of Krishna, automatically you are in the abode of Krishna. So that is the reason this entire verse was composed in present tense. And all the acharyas point out this fact that Krishna is eternally present even today. There is actually a great saint in the south of India by the name Nammalvar. So he was one of the 12 Alvars of the southern Vaishnava Sampradayas. He was unfortunately or fortunately born 43 days after Krishna's departure. So you can imagine the intensity of separation that he was feeling. He considered himself so unfortunate because he just missed Krishna's presence in the world. He was born just 43 days. He just appeared 43 days after Krishna disappeared from this world. So you can imagine the kind of lamentation that he was having. But Krishna was eternally present even for him in the compositions that he made, and he could literally see Krishna performing his pastimes in front of his eyes. So that should give us a lot of hope, and not only us, it should give hope to everybody that Krishna is still present in his unmanifest pastimes to this day. Just as how Parikshit Maharaj sang the praises of the different Vrajavasis in order of their importance towards the end of the Brihad Bhagavatamrta, here in this particular verse that we chanted, Srila Shukadeva Goswami, he speaks about 6 special aspects of Krishna's super excellence in order of importance. So the first point that is being discussed in this verse is Krishna is Jananivasa. Jananivas means he is the residence and he is the shelter and foundation of all living entities. Jananivas, He's the super soul in all of their hearts. So Krishna is present as the super soul continuously, and he is manifesting himself in numerous incarnations to the perfected devotees in front of their eyes. So that is the meaning of Jananivas. He is the supreme Brahman, he is the Atma, and he is the Paramatma of all the lords of all the avatars, meaning he's the Paramatma of all the living entities, and he's the source of all the avatars that is present to this day. So therefore, Krishna is Jananivas. He's the source of everyone and he's the Atma of everyone. Now, the second point that Shukadeva Goswami says is that Krishna displayed his extreme limit of his manifold opulence in the respectful words that he spoke to his mother and father at the time of birth. So he's glorified here as Devaki Nandana. So what is so glorious about being Devaki Nandana? The glory that Shukadeva Goswami is saying is that Krishna, he displayed his extreme manifold opulence in the words that he spoke to Devaki and Vasudeva. So as soon as he was born, he told them the reason of his birth as their son, and he instructed them to carry him to Gokul. So he told he told Vasudeva to carry him to Gokul, and Krishna at that time, he showed his intention of distributing his love far and wide. He wanted to distribute this precious treasure of prema far and wide. So he showed his intention, or rather he expressed his intention to his parents, Devaki and Vasudeva, right after his birth. So therefore, he is glorified. He is glorified as being Devaki Nandan, because as Devaki Nandan, he wanted to take up this task of giving his own love to the entire universe by going on the other side of Mathura, by going to Gokul. So this is the second point that is being described in the verse. The third thing is that by having the most excellent Yadus as his companions and servants, Krishna demonstrates his opulence of his appearance. So we all know, as Yadavendra of being the lord of the Yadus, Krishna put end to the distress of all the Yadus by killing demons like Kamsa and Jarasandha. So once he went to Mathura, and further when he went to Dwaraka, he showed his great opulence by killing all the demons. And also in this verse, it is described, the word used is Parishat, meaning Krishna also created an entire assembly. When we say assembly, not only did he create an assembly of great devotees in the Yadu dynasty, but also he brought the entire Sudharma assembly from the demigods. So he destroyed the pride of the demigods, and he brought the entire Sudharma assembly to the kingdom of the Yadus, and he presented it to Ugrasena, who was the king of the Yadus. So the Sudharma hall is one of the many treasures of heaven. Krishna also brought the Parijata tree from the heaven, and so he showed that he's the lord of everyone, including the demigods. Like that, he displayed his supreme opulence as he was Yadavendra, as he was the lord of the Yadus. So this is how Krishna, he displayed his causeless and unequaled kindness as well as his complete opulence. And although Krishna could have easily done away with these demons like Jarasandha and Kamsa by using some of his associates, or just by staying away from the entire warfare, still he tried to do this with his own arms. He personally came and he tried to suppress these opponents by using his mighty arms. And sometimes he used his Sudarshana disc, and sometimes he used his other weapons. In fact, in Harivamsha, there is a mention of when Krishna was battling with the Bhanasura. It is said that Krishna would sometimes exhibit his forearm form when he would battle with great demons. So Krishna used his arms. That is what is said in this verse. He personally used his arms to go and kill demons. Now, why is arms used in plural? It says Dorbihi. Dorbihi means multiple arms. Okay, it is not two arms. We all know that Krishna had two arms. But in this verse, Shukadeva Goswami is saying with his multiple arms, he went and he destroyed all these demons. So what does that mean? That means two things. One is, yes, Krishna does exhibit his forearm form when needed while killing demons. And the other point is that Krishna uses his very close associates like Arjuna and Bhima to kill demons. Like, for example, he used Bhima to kill Jarasandha. So with the help of his close associates, sometimes Krishna actually kills demons. Because after all, these devotees are the expansions of Krishna, and they are working on the order of Krishna. So like this, with his multiple arms, Krishna came and he destroyed all the elements of irreligion. So this is why the name multiple arms is being used for Krishna. So we saw some glories. We just saw how Krishna is Jananivas, first point. Second thing is how he's glorified as Devaki Nandan, because as Devaki Nandan, he gave instruction to his own parents and he went on the other side of Yamuna and he distributed love of God there. Okay. Third one is we saw how he had multiple arms and he killed all these irreligious elements as Yadavendra. Next, while enjoying his pastimes in Gokul, Krishna, he expanded the fullness of his devotional service. Although the pastimes of Krishna are performed in Mathura and Dwaraka, his pastimes in Gokul are actually very, very important. Krishna's pastimes in Gokul are actually the most important and the most relishable. So he showed kripa, he showed his generosity by giving prema bhakti to all the devotees in Vrindavan. He gave prema bhakti to everyone, living and non-living creatures. He gave prema bhakti to the insects, even the microbes it is described. So we saw about how all the insentient beings in Vrindavan were also enjoying loving reciprocations with Krishna. So like this, disregarding the lack of their qualifications, he was freely giving the gift of devotion of himself that automatically destroys all the material contaminations that one may have. So like this, Krishna showed his kindness in various ways and he was distributing very freely his treasure of love for himself. Now, from another angle, when we say that Krishna, he destroyed all the troubles of material existence by giving the love that people have for him, the other angle of this statement can also mean that Krishna, he also removed this desire for happiness of liberation from the hearts of all the devotees. So liberation is actually an impediment to devotional service. When one starts desiring for liberation, then there is a problem, because when one goes after impersonal liberation, there is no devotion. So that is also an impediment to bhakti. So when Krishna came and he was present among these wonderful devotees of Vrindavan, he removed this impediment of the desire for liberation. So then like this, when Krishna came, he flooded the entire land of Braja with love of God, with love for himself, and he removed all this hankering and all this unnecessary material existence, unhappiness that is there in the hearts of people, and he also removed this unnecessary unnecessary distraction from the desire for liberation. So this is what Krishna did when he came and he performed his pastimes. Just like how fire is lit for the sake of cooking, and when it is lit for the sake of cooking, it also dispels the darkness that is present in the kitchen, right? When you light fire for cooking, it also dispels the darkness. So similarly, when Krishna came and he came to distribute Krishna Bhakti to everybody, at that time he actually freed all the living beings from this mundane material miseries as a secondary result. So this is what even Prahlad Maharaj says. Prahlad Maharaj says, when you develop love of God, actually the rest of it is secondary benefit. You will automatically develop good qualities. You will automatically destroy Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Mada, Matsarya. Everything else is actually a secondary result. You will develop good qualities or anything you can think of, even vanquishing material miseries and even liberation. Everything is only a secondary result. So once you develop love of God, just like how a fire is lit that can automatically cook the food at the same time, dispel darkness, similarly, the darkness within our hearts is automatically dispelled when we develop love for God. So Krishna came to distribute that. In fact, when Krishna descended in Gokul, he freed all his devotees throughout the universe from the attraction to liberation, which they may easily obtain. Just like, yogis, they all have these siddhis. They are after siddhis. But is it very precious? No, it is not very precious. Anybody can, with suitable practice, attain siddhi. But its love of God is very, very rare. It can be obtained only when Krishna becomes extremely merciful to his devotees. So like this, then finally, the final point is being discussed that Krishna's most important reason for his appearance is that Krishna fully reveals his highest glories, his fascinating beauty, his charm and cleverness in his pastimes with the young gopis of Vraja. So that is the most important quality of Krishna's pastimes, attracting the hearts of the young gopis. During Krishna's presence in Brajabhumi, the entire land of Braja, it became like an opulent city, though it was a, you can say in common terms today, you can call it a village, but still it became like a big city, it became like a pura, the entire land of Braja, because of Krishna's many enchanting pastimes, Krishna's constant attraction, Krishna's smiling face that was enchanting the hearts of everyone. So their hearts were decorated with such beautiful ornaments of Krishna's smiles that it enchanted everyone, and the entire land of Braja became like a glorious city of Braja. So it was only because of Krishna's attractive pastimes that he was having with the gopis, that the entire land of Braja looked so decorated. And of course, Shukadev Goswami, when he's chanting this verse, he's saying it in present tense to tell us that Krishna's pastimes are continuously going on in the land of Rajabhumi. So in Azaprakat Leela, Krishna is continuously performing his pastimes even to this day in the land of Raja. And there are so many devotees who have witnessed Krishna's pastimes in their Siddha Deha while residing in the land of Vrindavan. And not just that, yes, this is also being testified and confirmed by the prayers of the women in Mathura. Remember when Krishna entered Mathura, the women were offering beautiful prayers to Krishna. At that time, they were saying that Krishna is performing his pastimes in Vrindavan. Even they were telling that Krishna is still present in Vrindavan when Krishna had come to Mathura. So we have seen those verses in great detail in some of our previous classes. They also testify the same fact again and again. So this is what we should understand. Krishna is still continuing to perform his pastimes. He's present through the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. He's present in his holy names, and he's present in his abode, and we should be completely convinced of this fact. He's present in the hearts of all the devotees every second. Every second when a devotee thinks about Krishna, Krishna becomes manifest, and that is a fact. So in summary of this very beautiful verse that was chanted, this is the summary of the entire verse. It says that the same super soul who resides in the hearts of all living beings took up his residence in the womb of Devaki. As the super soul, he is not only the passive indwelling supervisor, but as the son of Devaki, he speaks and reciprocates with his devotees in many loving ways, just like how he gave instructions to Devaki. The mighty heroes of the Yadava dynasty are the Supreme Lord's servants, and they were able to defeat all the forces of evil by his mercy. Still, the Lord chooses to use his own arms to kill the opposing kings. He also destroys the sins and miseries of all moving and non-moving creatures by his presence. But with the gopis, he acts in a seemingly contrary way. He chooses to have sweet, loving relationships with him. Thus, he only increases their shyness of love, and also at the same time, he increases their misery when he's separated from them. The gopis themselves are not at fault for this, because it is this beauty, enchanting beauty of Krishna's face that is causing them this distress. So it's a very beautiful verse, very, very beautiful verse. And this was the verse that was chosen by both Shukadev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj to end their narrations of the glorious pastimes of Sri Krishna. So like this, Shukadev Goswami also, he gives various understandings to this particular verse, and we can understand that Krishna is indeed the super excellent Lord, and his wonderful qualities, his compassion, his concern for devotees, these are all incomparable. And this entire episode of Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrta of Book 1 and Book 2 was narrated by Parikshit to Uttara, and later by Jaimini to Parikshit's son, Janamejaya. And hearing this entire narrative, this beautiful, beautiful narrative of the Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrta, Sri Janamejaya, he was so happy in heart when he was hearing this from his Guru Jaimini. he was so happy in his heart, and he started exclaiming, I'm so successful, I'm so successful. Oh my Lord, oh my spiritual master, you have given me this opportunity to relish the secret glories of Goloka Vrindavan. I've just received this wonderful narration from you, and I feel my entire existence is purified. So like this, King Janamejaya, having received this wonderful narration from Jaimini Rishi, he felt so thankful, he felt so satisfied, and he revered his Guru Jaimini as good as God, because the Guru is the representative of the Lord. And he felt so grateful for the mercy that Jaimini had showed to him. So at that time, Sri Jaimini told him, my dear boy Janamejaya, whatever you say is very, very true. Anyone who hears or chants or meditates upon this narration of Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrta with devotion will achieve, 100% will achieve the abode of the Supreme Lord. And this is the Falashruti of this entire narrative of Book 1 and Book 2. So this is the Falashruti as spoken by Jaimini. So seeing that his disciple, his heart, the disciple of Janamejaya, was filled with love of God, Jaimini was extremely satisfied. He could understand that his disciple had properly heard and at the same time assimilated whatever he had heard. Just hearing is not enough. One must assimilate whatever has been heard. So simply by hearing or chanting this narrative with devotion or thinking about it properly, one can achieve the perfection of life and achieve Goloka Vrindavan. If then, what to talk of if one engages seriously in all the regulative practice that is meant for attaining Goloka, like Gopakumar, one will surely attain success. So even if we are not able to, quote unquote, follow in the footsteps of Gopakumar by doing the kind of sadhana that he did, at least if we can sincerely hear and follow the Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrta and relish it within our hearts, we get the same benefit of what Gopakumar had achieved. So then Jaimini, finally, to conclude his narration, he offers a very beautiful prayer. He says, Tasmat namostu nirupadi kripakulaya Shri Goparajatanaya Gurutamaya Yakarayan nijajanam Swayameva bhaktim tasyati tushyati yata paramo upakratuhu. Sri Jaimini then said, obeisances to him, the son of the blessed king of the cowherds, who's always filled with causeless compassion, who on his own initiative impels his servants to develop devotion for him, and who then becomes fully satisfied as if his devotee were being very kind to him. Very beautiful verse. He's glorifying the Lord, and he's talking about the very sweet nature of Krishna. He says, obeisances to him, the son of the blessed king of the cowherds. He's not even saying the son of Nanda Maharaj. He just says the son of the blessed king of the cowherds, who's always filled with causeless compassion. Krishna's heart is filled with causeless compassion. He is the one who's impelling his servant to develop devotion for him, but then he becomes fully grateful and compassionate and satisfied when his devotee develops love, and he feels that his devotee is being kind to him by developing love for him. This is the glory of Krishna, filled with Saushilya and Saulabhya. These are some qualities of Krishna, that he's so great, yet he's so accessible. He's so great, but yet he feels grateful to the devotees for developing love for him. That is Krishna. So this is a very beautiful verse that is being chanted by Jaimini to end his narration. So as he's coming to the end of the narration, Jaimini, he remembers the supreme kindness of Krishna, and he understands that Krishna is full of so many different kinds of compassion without any selfish motive, and he's trying to do something beneficial for everyone. And interestingly, here Jaimini calls Krishna as the son of the cowherds, king of the cowherds, because now that he has narrated the entire Brihad Bhagavatamrta and he has understood that the gopis are indeed the topmost devotees of the Lord, somehow he had developed gopi bhav, and out of shyness and respect for Nanda Maharaj, he's not using the name Nanda Maharaj. Just like how young gopis wouldn't talk, wouldn't say the name of their revered elder, especially when it is, a person like their father-in-law, they wouldn't want to use the name very freely. Like that, Jaimini, he just says Krishna. He doesn't even say Krishna. He doesn't even say Nanda Maharaj. He just says the son of the king of the cowherds, following in the footsteps of the gopis. So like this, he shares the mood of the gopis, and he's very shy to mention Nanda Maharaj because he's a respectable person. Then he says that Krishna is actually the best of all spiritual instructors, both internally as the super soul and externally as the Vaishnava spiritual master. Krishna is present. So we all know that Krishna is our super soul and our spiritual master is the expansion of the super soul. This is also confirmed in the 11th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. This is canto 11, chapter 29, verse number 6. It says, "My Lord, transcendental poets and experts in spiritual science would not be able to fully express their indebtedness to you, even if they were endowed with prolonged lifetime of Brahma. For you appear in two features. Note, you appear in two features, externally as the Acharya and internally as the super soul, to deliver all embodied living beings by directing them to come to you." So this is the nature of the Lord. He's extremely compassionate. He's present internally as the super soul and externally as the spiritual master. And Jaimini, he's telling everything to Janamejaya, and he feels that whatever he is speaking is because of the mercy of Krishna. Jaimini acknowledges that the Lord is very merciful. That's why I was able to speak this wonderful Brihad Bhagavatamrta. He's present inside me as the super soul, and externally, he's also present as the spiritual master by whose strength I'm able to speak. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat krupa tamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. Only by the mercy of the spiritual master, only by the mercy of the super soul are we able to speak anything, even a single word in glorification of the Supreme Lord. So like this, Krishna is very, very compassionate. And his gratitude is mutual. We feel grateful to the Lord, and you see how Krishna feels grateful to all his devotees. When Krishna sees that his devotees are practicing devotional service, he feels very grateful. Who can be like the Lord? He's the most sweet, most compassionate Lord. And finally, we saw the prayer of Parikshit Maharaj, we saw the prayer of Jaimini, and now finally, our author, Srila Sanatana Goswami, to end his big Darshini commentary that he has given for his own work on Brihad Bhagavatamrta, Srila Sanatana Goswami, he offers a beautiful prayer. He says, Swayam pravarti tai kritsnair mamatailikena shramaihi Srimad Chaitanya Ruposhau Bhagavan Priyatam Sada. May the Supreme Lord, in his form as Sri Chaitanya, who personally made me take up this labor of writing, be always pleased. It glorifies Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who instigated him to actually write the Brihad Bhagavatamrta. And he calls the Lord as Sri Chaitanya, Shriman, possessor of all divine opulences. He is Lord Krishna himself, who appears as the son of Sachi Devi. And he also specifically uses this phrase, Sri Chaitanya Rupa. This can also mean a glorification to Srila Rupa Goswami, who is the intimate servant of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in one verse, Srila Sanatana Goswami was offering his respects to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as well as Rupa Goswami, who's a very wonderful devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So like this, he concludes the entire Brihad Bhagavatamrta, and this ends the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, the 7th chapter of part 2 of Srila Sanatana Goswami's Brihad Bhagavatamrita, entitled Jagadananda, the bliss of the worlds, and it also completes the narration of the entire Brihad Bhagavatamrita. So we are done with the Brihad Bhagavatamrita by the mercy of all our acharyas, especially by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, who has been so compassionate to us by delivering all of us, by giving us such beautiful, beautiful scriptures that has been inaccessible to the common man. Who are we? We are, some lost souls in this world. We are all stuck in our own material conditions in this world. Are we capable of going to the forest to do meditation, or are we capable of going in search of a guru, giving up our home and commitments? We are not capable of doing anything. But still, our acharyas are so merciful, Srila Prabhupada is so merciful that we have all these scriptures so easily given to us in the palm of our hands. In a click, we have everything today. This is definitely a great mercy. We have no qualification, yet we are given all this most inaccessible treasures of love of God. How many of them could have got it? We are so fortunate. We are extremely fortunate. So we should feel very grateful to all of them. And definitely our gratefulness goes to Gopi Paranandana Prabhu, Bhanu Swami Maharaj, and so many other devotees who have worked on the translations, and especially the translations of not only the verses but also the Digdarshani commentary of Srila Sanatana Goswami. How much they have put in a lot of effort to give this entire Brihad Bhagavatamrta to us. So we are very, very grateful to everybody. And before we actually end, we are not going to end now. We still have another half an hour. So what we're going to do now is just to revise our memory so that we can really access the Phalashruti that is being told. Let's revise and see what we have seen so far. We'll do it really quick, really, really quick. And Vinita Mataji will show a PowerPoint for you where only pictures are there. There is no written matter there. It's just pictures. So that as I'm speaking, you can also refresh your memories by seeing beautiful pictures. These pictures are there directly from the 3-volume BBT publication of the Brihad Bhagavatamrta as translated by Gopi Paranandana Prabhu, and the illustrations are done by Dinabandhu Prabhu. Very beautiful paintings, very, very fine, beautiful art. So just keep looking at it as I'm talking. I hope Mataji is able to share the screen. Yeah, she started sharing the screen.
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. So now we'll quickly summarize book 1 and book 2 and see what all we have seen, what all Sanatana Goswami has told us. Okay. First of all, Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrta is actually the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam, and it was narrated by Shukadeva it was narrated by Parikshit Maharaj to his mother Uttara. Now, Bhagavatam was narrated by Shukadev Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj. After hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam, Parikshit Maharaj noticed that his mother Uttara was sitting and she was lamenting. Why was she lamenting? Why was she shedding tears? She was shedding tears of pain because her son Parikshit was about to leave his body in 7 days. You know the story of Bhagavatam. So once he had heard the Bhagavatam, it was time for Parikshit to leave his body. So at that time, Mother Uttara, naturally, as how a mother would feel, she was very much aggrieved and she was lamenting, and she was to see her own son die in front of her eyes. So seeing this, seeing her tears and seeing how aggrieved she was, Parikshit Maharaj went to her and started consoling her and told her, "Oh my mother, why are you lamenting? Please don't lament. Please understand that I've received the greatest knowledge from my spiritual master Shukadev Goswami. I have received this fruit of Srimad Bhagavatam, and I'm going to give up my body in a very good condition." So at that time, Mother Uttara said, "Oh my son Parikshit, what is it that you have learned from your spiritual master? Please enlighten me also so that I may be benefited." So at that time, Parikshit Maharaj, in that short time that he had, he couldn't tell the entire narration of the Srimad Bhagavatam. But then he decided to take out the essence, the juice of that ripened fruit of Srimad Bhagavatam, that nectar that was dripping from that fruit of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So at that time, he decided to narrate Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrta to his mother. So Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the Grantharaj of all the scriptures, was spoken to Parikshit after Parikshit heard the Srimad Bhagavatam. He assimilated it. He assimilated the complete understanding of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and he gave it as Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrta to his mother Uttara. And Brihad Bhagavatamrita, as it is presented to us today, is given and written by Srila Sanatan Goswami. But we should understand that Srila Sanatan Goswami himself has admitted that he actually did not write Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita. So we are saying Sanatan Goswami wrote Brihad Bhagavatamrita. At the same time, we also say that Sanatan Goswami did not write Brihad Bhagavatamrita. How is that? Because Srila Sanatan Goswami himself admits that he just held the pen. He held the pen and somebody made him write. And who is that somebody? That also he admitted is Sri Madan Mohan of Vrindavan. Lord Madan Mohan himself made Srila Sanatan Goswami to write the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, and that is the picture that you see. You see Srila Sanatan Goswami in his samadhi. He's able to hear what Krishna is telling, and Krishna was making him write. It was Sri Madan Mohan who impelled him to write Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Sanatan Goswami also gave a commentary to his own work. If it was his own fictitious story, then would he write a commentary to it? It is very unusual for a person to make a composition and write a commentary on that. But from this, we can understand, with the commentaries of Srila Sanatan Goswami itself, we can understand that he himself did not write it, but he was made to write it by the mercy of the Lord. So it was all the glory of Madan Mohan. It goes to Madan Mohan for making Srila Sanatan Goswami write Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Because Sanatan Goswami felt he had to explain it in great detail, he also wrote a commentary. And he was also lamenting at his audacity to write Brihad Bhagavatamrita. He was thinking, how dare I enter into Krishna's inner chamber of pastimes and judge one devotee after the other? How could I judge one as being a greater devotee than the other? To judge, I need to find defects and faults in the devotional service of great devotees and internal associates of Sri Krishna, like Rukmini, Satyabhama, Uddhava, and so many others. But it was only by the mercy of Krishna that I even wrote anything. Now, another very important consideration is that we all understand that Srimad Bhagavatam is the essence of the entire Vedas. And the Vedas have been compared to Kalpavriksha, or a desire tree, and the ripened fruit of all the Vedas is the Srimad Bhagavatam. Now that ripened fruit has been blended from the nectar of the mouth of Srila Shukadev Goswami, and Srimad Bhagavatam is the very cream of the Vedas. But that Bhagavatam has been further digested and blended with the lips of Shukadev Goswami and consumed by Parikshit Maharaj. It has been taken in by Parikshit Maharaj. And now Parikshit Maharaj is presenting it to Mother Uttara. So undoubtedly, this Brihad Bhagavatamrita is, in fact, the greatest of all scriptures. It is the essence of the Bhagavatam. So it is definitely the greatest of all scriptures. And also we should understand there are two Bhagavatamritas. One is the Brihad Bhagavatamrita and the other is the Laghu Bhagavatamrita. Laghu Bhagavatamrita was compiled by Srila Rupa Goswami, and Rupa Goswami chose a few verses from the Bhagavatam to establish many details, philosophical points, and the supremacy of Krishna in various ways. But in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Srila Sanatan Goswami has chosen to tell this entire essence in the form of a story. Once it is being told in the form of a story, one can really understand the essence of the entire thing. Rather, we can talk a lot of philosophy, but when it is presented in the form of a story, it becomes very easily digestible. Even the top concepts, very, very high concepts, can be easily digestible when it is being told in a story format. So that is a very beautiful aspect of Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita. So in the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Sanatan Goswami, he narrates 2 episodes. It is divided into 2 parts. The first part is known as Purva Bhaga, the preliminary section, and the second one is called as the Uttara Bhaga, or the second part. Okay. Now, in the first part, Srila Sanatan Goswami, he tries to point out the highest devotee, who is the greatest recipient of Krishna's mercy, who is the topmost devotee. And in course of doing that, he describes the story of a Parivraja, or a person who's traveling all around the universe. And that Parivraja is Narada Muni. So while describing the story of Narada Muni's travels, he gives a description of the geography of the material and the spiritual worlds. And Narada Muni, he goes around searching for the greatest devotee. So Narada Muni, he begins his search in Prayag on earth. That is a place where there is a confluence of Ganga, Yamuna, and Saraswati. So in that place, actually, first Narada Muni begins his search. And after searching like this, he first goes to Prayag. There he meets a Brahmana. This Brahmana, he thinks, is actually the greatest devotee of the Lord. Narada Muni thinks, looking at the gorgeous worship that he's doing for Shalagram Shrina, as you see in the picture, he thinks, Narada Muni feels that this devotee in Prayag is actually the greatest of all the devotees of Krishna. But then this devotee, he says, no, Narada Muni, I'm not the greatest of all the devotees. Actually, I'm not even a devotee because I've not developed any devotion. If you want to know who a devotee is, then you go to South India. There is a great king who has built beautiful temples and he has made great arrangements for the worship of the Lord. So Narada Muni, he went to South India where he saw this great king who was worshipping the Lord in such gorgeous splendor. And he went and he spoke to this king in South India. But then the king, he said, no, it is not me who is the greatest of all devotees. Rather, you go to Indraloka and see how Indra worships the Lord in all grandeur. And so he goes to the king of heavens. He goes and he meets Indra, and then Indra gives various reasons why he is not even a devotee. Then Indra directs him to Lord Brahma, and then Brahma talks to Narada, and Brahma tells him, my dear son, I am nothing, you go to Lord Shiva. Narada Muni goes to Lord Shiva, who's the greatest of all Vaishnavas, and there's a very beautiful, very beautiful conversation between Lord Shiva and Narada Muni, which is pretty much a very important part of part 1. It just shows the glorious nature, the compassionate nature of Lord Shiva. You can see that picture in the screen. Lord Shiva closing his ears when Narada Muni is glorifying him. Very humble Lord Shiva. And then he tells, no, I'm not a great devotee. And then he wants to tell him about the glories of the Vaikuntha Vasis. And in fact, Parvati Devi even tells that, Lakshmi Devi is the greatest devotee. But then again, Lord Shiva calls Narada closer and he whispers into his ear. He tells him a secret that actually, you know what, don't worry about going to Vaikuntha now. You go to Sutala Loka and there is a very special devotee there. And Prahlad is there. Go and talk to him. So that is when Narada Muni, he runs to Sutala Loka and he meets Prahlad. And he sees Prahlad closing his eyes, thinking about the Lord. And he has a very beautiful conversation with Prahlad. And Prahlad tells him, what active service did I do? I'm very unfortunate. Yes, the Lord appeared for my sake, but did I do any active service to him? I didn't do much. But you go to Hanuman. Hanuman was such a wonderful devotee. He served the Lord in Dasi Rasa. If you go to him, you'll understand what real devotional service is. So then he goes to Kim Purusha Loka, Narada Muni, and you see a picture of him meeting Hanuman, Narada Muni meeting Hanuman. It was so beautiful. Hanuman stretches out and Narada Muni goes flying to him. And they talk to each other, and Hanuman tells his deficiencies. And he tells him, actually, I'm not a great devotee. The Pandavas were constantly with the Lord. In Krishna Leela, Pandavas were constant companions of the Lord. They were in Sakyarasa, you please go there. And then, of course, he goes and he meets the Pandavas, and the Pandavas, headed by Yudhishthir, they lament in various ways, and they tell him that actually they were not at all good devotees. And then finally, they pointed Narada to go to Uddhava, because Uddhava is the constant companion of the Lord, always thinking about the Lord. And Uddhava, to meet Uddhava, this is when Krishna actually goes to Dwaraka in the material world, when Krishna was performing his pastimes. And when he goes to Dwaraka, there he sees all the Yadavas, he sees Ugrasena, and he sees so many Yadavas, and they lead him to the inner chambers where Uddhava is present. You can see a picture of how Narada Muni is actually, he faints actually when he goes to Dwaraka, and then he's being taken care of. You know, they're sprinkling water on his face and they are making him come out of his ecstasy in the inner chambers of Dwaraka. And he's sleeping on the bed and people are trying to wake him up. And then he has a lovely conversation with Uddhava. He sees that everyone is crying and they are lamenting, and he understands from their conversations that actually it is indeed the devotees of Vrindavan who are the greatest of all, and the gopis of Vrindavan are the topmost devotees headed by Srimati Radharani. She is the greatest. And at that point in time, we also saw the pastime of Navavrindavan, how they created Navavrindavan, and with the help of Garuda, actually Krishna and Balaram were carried off to this Navavrindavan. That was a replica of Vrindavan in Dwaraka. And you can also see a picture of how actually Krishna had fainted by then as he was thinking about the gopis. He just fainted. And once they landed in Navavrindavan, Balaram first woke up, and then he was trying to make Krishna look like a cowherd boy. He was putting his flute and peacock feather, and he was doing all that. You can see a picture of that to get Krishna ready for that mood. And then finally Krishna wakes up, and then he takes on this mood of a cowherd boy. He really thinks he's in Vrindavan, and he goes around. And it's very beautiful. And then suddenly he sees the huge ocean, and then he realizes, oh no, this is Dwaraka. So like that, he comes back to his, he understands. And we also see very sweet pastimes of how this mother of Kamsa and Satyabhama were running behind this cowherd boy. They were so enchanted by his beauty. And then later, Satyabhama, of course, she was not very happy in one sense when she saw that only the Vrajavasis were glorified as being great because of her natural pride and her nature. And then Krishna calls out to her. She was hiding behind the pillar. And then Krishna calls out to her. He begins to talk to her about the glories of the gopis. So that is also a very sweet picture of how Satyabhama is hiding behind the pillar and Krishna calls out. And then finally, Narada sat down after hearing about the wonderful glories of all the Vrajavasis headed by the gopis, and especially Srimati Radharani, and the love that they have for Krishna. Finally, after all this was revealed to Narada Muni, his search was complete and he could understand who the greatest of all the devotees are. He sat down to have his meal with the Lords, with Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram. So that is also a very, very beautiful picture that you see in this presentation. So like this, Narada Muni's search was complete and he could understand that the residents of Vrindavan, especially the gopis, the cowherd damsels, are the greatest, and Srimati Radharani is the greatest of all the devotees. So Narada Muni was the Parivrajaka of the part 1. He was the one who was traveling all around the world. And then the second one, that is the book 2, is what we are going to see next. Book 2 is the description of a devotee's journey to Goloka Vrindavan. And this devotee is the celebrated Gopakumar, as you see hopefully in the background. Gopakumar's attainment of Goloka Vrindavan, embracing Krishna, and that is actually one of the icons of Bhakti Sangha. We use it on our website, on our YouTube channel, everywhere, as suggested by Rajeshwari Priya Mataji. This is one of our meditations, actually. The purpose of Bhakti Sangha is also to have continuous Krishna Katha and Japa sessions so that we can also aspire to follow in the footsteps of Sri Gopakumar. So Gopakumar, he was a cowherd boy from Vrindavan, and he was born in a family of cowherd men. Gopakumar, he begins to tell his story to another Brahmana who traveled all the way from Pragjotishpur. So this Brahmana was called as the Mathura Brahmana. Basically, he was also born in Mathura, but then later his family settled in Pragjotishpur near Assam. And from all the way from Pragjotishpur, he started traveling in search of God. And he did receive a mantra by the mercy of Uma Devi and Lord Shiva. He received the Gopala Deva mantra. And he was chanting the mantra, but he was not able to understand the meaning of the mantra or his worshipable Lord. Finally, he reached Keshi Ghat in Vrindavana. That is where he saw Gopakumar. And when he saw Gopakumar, he fell at the feet of Gopakumar and accepted Gopakumar as a spiritual master. That's a beautiful picture that you can see. How he offers his obeisances and he accepts Gopakumar as a spiritual master. Gopakumar, to give him instructions, he didn't just give him instructions, okay, do this. This is the protocol for sadhana. He didn't do that. Rather, Gopakumar decided to narrate his own experience and his own story, and that is when the journey of Gopakumar is being discussed. So he told his entire journey how, by the mercy of a spiritual master, You can see the picture of the spiritual master of Gopakumar. By the mercy of his spiritual master, whom he met in Vrindavan, when this little boy Gopakumar would go to give milk, one day his spiritual master called him and gave him the mantra. And because of the power of this mantra, he describes how he was able to travel into so many places and then finally reach the spiritual abode of Goloka Vrindavan. So while describing Srila Sanatana Goswami, he makes one thing very, very clear. He says that Gopakumar was not at all concerned about any material possessions or any distractions, and he was not interested about attaining any position. Even when he went to Jagannath Puri during his journey, he started off and he went to Jagannath Puri, where he saw the deities there. You can see a picture of Gopakumar taking darshan of the deities in Jagannath Puri. So when he went there and he was taking darshan there and he was residing there, he was offered to become the king of Jagannath Puri. He did become the king. He took great positions. He became the king, and then later he attained the position of Indra also. He went to the heavenly kingdom. You can see a picture of how this little Gopakumar, this cowherd boy, was sitting on the throne of Indra. He became the king of heavens. He resided in heaven for some time. Later he went to Brahma's abode and he became Brahma himself for an interim period. So like this, wherever Gopakumar went as he was traveling through different planets, he was never affected by the different positions. That is very alluring. Attaining a high position in this world is very alluring. That is once you take a high post, there is automatically some sort of pride, some sort of attachment to that position that actually causes a fall down. But Gopakumar, he became the king of Jagannath Puri. He had become Lord Indra. He had become Lord Brahma, but he was never affected by these positions, by the power of the mantra and the faith that he had in his spiritual master as he was continuously chanting the mantra. His only concern was to spread Krishna consciousness. Every time he became a king, anywhere he was trying to spread Krishna consciousness. So this is the mood of a devotee. He was trying to disseminate Harikatha, and he was trying to do so many things. He was encouraging everyone to chant the holy names of the Lord. So from the very beginning of his life, he was not really attracted to anything materialistic. And even though he became Indra, he was not even distracted by the enjoyments of heaven. Though everything is so opulent there, you have Somarasa and you have dancing damsels, still nothing actually attracted Gopakumar. The only thing that he wanted to drink one rasa, that is the nectar of Krishna Katha. That is the only thing that was actually attracting him, or rather drinking the nectar of the holy names of Krishna in the form of the Gopala mantra that he had received. That was his only focus. Then another thing that is being pointed out through the second story of Gopakumar is that he was not even attracted to impersonal liberation, because after attaining the post of Brahma, later he was transferred to this impersonal abode where he met Lord Shiva and Goddess Parvati. You can see the picture of him meeting Lord Shiva and Goddess Parvati. He sees them and he sees what is there in that impersonal abode. And still he is not attracted by this impersonal liberation, because he didn't want to be there. Definitely he didn't want to be there. He wanted to constantly see his worshipable Lord Gopaladeva. So he did not want to be there. And incidentally, in that place, he had a glimpse of the Vishnu Parshads, the associates of Lord Vishnu. That's the next picture, where you can see him actually seeing the 400 form Vishnu Dutas, who had apparently come to pay their respects to Lord Shiva at that time. So when he saw them, he desired to go to Vaikuntha and actually see the Lord in the spiritual world. So this is when he actually attains Vaikuntha. He goes to the spiritual world in Vaikuntha. You can see a very beautiful picture of him at the entrance of Vaikuntha. So when he goes to Vaikuntha, he sees the doorkeepers of Vaikuntha, who also look like Lord Narayana with 4 arms and bluish skin. They all look so beautiful, and he begins paying his obeisances to everybody, even the doorkeepers, and everyone is closing their ears and they are saying, no, I am not Narayana, I'm a humble servant of Narayana. So like that, he goes there to the entrance of that place. And then he enters and he's taken in front of Lord Vishnu and Lakshmi, Lord Narayana and Lakshmi. So he goes in front of Lord Narayana and Lakshmi, And in fact, everybody in Vaikuntha were offering him permanent citizenship. They were telling, you take Sarupya, you also take a 400 form, and you become a permanent resident of Vaikuntha. But then Gopakumar refused because he wanted to be a cowherd boy. That was his innate feeling and his nature. He just wanted to remain a cowherd boy. And you can see him in one of the pictures, the next picture, how he was performing in front of the Lord, playing his flute. The Lord was encouraging him. Though the Lord was encouraging him, and sometimes the Lord would also encourage him by taking a form of Krishna and trying to, make him feel in place, but still Gopakumar didn't feel truly happy in Vaikuntha because of all the opulence, and he couldn't just see his Lord Gopal Deva tending cows in Vaikuntha. So he was never happy really there. But in the next picture, you can see that he did have opportunities to meet with Narada Muni. He was very, very happy to meet Narada Muni in Vaikuntha, and he had an opportunity to discuss with him in great detail about pure devotional service. He had so many questions in his mind, and Narada Muni was telling him answers to so many of the questions that he had. He was talking to him about Shravanam, Kirtanam, and the practices of devotional service. And Narada Muni encouraged him to go to Dwaraka so that he could see Krishna himself, right? So this was his worship of the Lord. Somehow he wanted to see that two-armed form of Krishna. That is what he was actually hankering for. So Narada Muni encouraged him, and with the permission of Lord Narayana, he could actually go to Dwaraka in the spiritual world. He was so happy to see Dwarkadish, Rukmini Dwarkadish, and all the associates, the Yadavas. He was so happy to see all of them, but still he was missing the cowherd boy. In fact, Krishna in Dwaraka was also missing his role as a cowherd boy. So we saw that also, how his flute was tucked in his waist. Dwaraka Krishna wasn't playing the flute, and there were a lot of things missing in Dwaraka Krishna. And Gopakumar really wanted to go and see his worshipable Lord Gopal. In fact, we also see at one point before going to Dwaraka, he also stopped in Ayodhya. He saw Lord Rama, he saw Sita Devi, and he saw all the associates of Lord Ramachandra at that point also. And in fact, sometimes Lord Ram also, just to satisfy him, he took the form of Krishna and he put Satyabhama. Sita Devi took the form of. She was also trying to help this Gopakumar in various ways. They were all trying very, very hard to help Gopakumar, but nothing was actually making Gopakumar happy, because ultimately Gopakumar could understand that this is not my Gopal Dev. So the same thing happened in Dwaraka, and still Gopakumar wanted to move on, and by the mercy of the spiritual master Narada and Narada Muni, who were helping him, he went on finally, and he reached Goloka Vrindavan. So after he reached Goloka Vrindavan, he gets this beautiful darshan of Sri Krishna, his worshipable Lord. That is where you see this picture, very, very beautiful form of Krishna. This was the first glimpse that Gopakumar had of Krishna. And then he went and he embraced Krishna. Krishna, Gopal Dev, he was telling him, oh my dear friend, I was waiting for you for so many years. And that is the classic picture of the embrace of Gopakumar and Krishna in the next slide that you will be seeing. He embraced Krishna and he had the opportunity to associate with Krishna. Finally, he attained what he wanted to. He went to Goloka Vrindavan, and Krishna took him by his hand and he went and he ate with Krishna. You see the next picture where Yashoda is serving, helping serve, and the Nanda Maharaj is sitting. And to Nanda Maharaj's right, you have Balaram. To his left, there is Krishna. And then Gopakumar is there opposite them. And they are all eating together in the spiritual world. In Goloka Vrindavan, you'll see Gopakumar has attained the spiritual world. He's so happy there. And then he sees beautiful pastimes in the spiritual world. The pastimes in the spiritual world are very similar to Krishna's pastimes here when he comes and he performs in this world. So Krishna goes to graze the cows in the forest of Vrindavan. And when he goes, Mother Yashoda, her heart is actually pounding because she has to leave her baby Krishna, and Krishna has to go to the forest, and Krishna's soft feet will be hurt by the thorns and the stones and the bushes of Vrindavan. So she wants to make sure that her boy is comfortable. She feeds him so nicely And then Gopakumar gets to see how Yashoda sends off Krishna. So that's a very beautiful picture of Yashoda checking on Krishna. She makes sure everything is ready. She goes 100 times. She turns back. She goes and then she makes sure he's all right. So she goes on doing that. And that's a very beautiful capture of Yashoda's emotions while she's making sure everything is okay with Krishna before Krishna can set off to the forest. And Gopakumar is accompanying him in that picture. So they get to go off, and Gopakumar is so happy. Finally, he is able to go with Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan tending cows. So he's so happy there, and he sees so many beautiful pastimes in the spiritual world, like the Kaliya pastime, so nice. In the spiritual world, demons are present in conception forms or Abhimana Rupa. So they do see this Kaliya who has come and who's disturbing these people, and then they all try to, call. Krishna goes running out of his house, right? So Krishna goes running out of his house. He hears about Kaliya and he goes running out of the house. He hears from a Brahmana that Kaliya has come, and he goes running out of his house, and then he tames Kaliya, and he brings on all the gopis to dance with him on the hooves of Kaliya. That's such a sweet pastime. And then Kaliya becomes his vehicle in the spiritual world. And then he also meets Keshi demon. That is the next picture you must be seeing. He meets Keshi demon. Keshi demon appears there. And then Krishna, he tames Keshi, and then he makes him a play horse. He ties up Keshi, and they use Keshi for riding on all the cowherd boys. They use him as a play horse. Whenever they are bored, they take a ride on Keshi and they enjoy in the spiritual world. So like this, Gopakumar attains his spiritual identity as Sarupa. Krishna, when he embraces him, he tells him, "You are Sarupa. You are an associate. You come in the family of Sridham." So very close associate of Sri Krishna. This Sarupa was, this Gopakumar was. So he embraces him and reveals his identity to him. So like this, Gopakumar was telling his entire story to the Brahmin who had come all the way from Pragjotishpur and who had hailed from Mathura. He tells his entire story, and he tells, "My dear Brahmana, it was actually on the order of Srimati Radharani that I have come to meet you here in Bhauma Vrindavan. I was sent personally by her from the spiritual world to come and meet you. She told me that you have come in search, and I need to help you and I need to guide you." That is the picture you're seeing, the order of Srimati Radharani. You see a beautiful picture of Srimati Radharani sitting in the forest of Goloka Vrindavan and giving an order in the company of her Sakhi to Krishna, to Gopakumar, to go down and then meet this Brahmana who's been searching for the goal of life. So Gopakumar tells, or Sarupa tells this particular Brahmin that actually it was on Radharani's order that I've come here. And then finally, both Gopakumar, both Sarupa and this Brahmana, they see Krishna face to face in Bhauma Vrindavan. And the identity of the Brahmana is revealed as Jana Sharma. So now we have Sarupa and Jana Sharma, who enter into the sweet pastimes of Sri Krishna along with all the other cowherd boys. So that is a final picture that you're seeing, where Krishna is present with Jana Sharma, with Sarupa, and all the other cowherd boys. They're all taking lunch together. So even Jana Sharma attained perfection. So this is the story of Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrta. And after he attained perfection, of course, Jaimini, who was hearing this whole thing from Janamejaya, he didn't want to, stop. He was telling, "Please don't stop, Jaimini, Rishi, please don't stop, my spiritual master. I want to hear more." So at that time, Jaimini tells, "Okay, I will tell you further things that Parikshit Maharaj told Uttara." And then he tells the verses that Parikshit Maharaj quoted to Uttara when he concluded the pastimes. And those were the beautiful verses in glorification of all the Vrajavasis. We saw different Vrajavasis and their glorification as spoken by Parikshit from the Srimad Bhagavatam, as spoken by Shukadeva Goswami, and then later again spoken by Jaimini to Janmejaya. So then after all these verses were spoken, we concluded the entire Brihad Bhagavatamrta. So the beauty of Brihad Bhagavatamrita is that we should understand that a devotee's life is eternal. It never ends. A devotee's life is eternal. A devotee never dies because there is continuous spiritual progress, not just here, even in the spiritual world. Even when we go there, there is continuous progress. He attains a progressive life after life after life. And devotional service is eternally progressive. It is eternally new. It is eternally revealing something new to us, not just here, even there. Because you see in those pastimes in Goloka Vrindavan, every day was so fresh. Every day something new and exciting was happening. This is how a devotee's life is. A devotee never dies. A devotee's relishing the Lord's pastimes never stops. It is continuous. It is continuously new and it is continuously relishable. So every day we do make little advancements. Maybe our advancement is minute, maybe a fraction of advancement we have made, but every day a devotee, by hearing and by chanting, makes at least a minute fraction of progress. And Krishna, by his merciful nature, he makes sure that the devotee stays in the spiritual path if the devotee is sincere, if he is sincere to receive the mercy of Krishna. So in this way, in all our Vedic literatures, we see such beautiful concepts of bhakti being explained. And this Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrta is actually the essence of all Vedic literatures. When we say that Bhagavatam is the ripened fruit of all the Vedas, and we see that nectar of that fruit is Brihad Bhagavatamrta, we can understand the glory of Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita. That is Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita for all of us. And we end this entire series by quoting the words of Srila Prabhupada. So that is the final slide that you will be seeing, the quotes of Srila Prabhupada. I can read the quotes, what Srila Prabhupada says about Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita. He says, Sri Sanatana Goswami Prabhu, the teacher of the science of devotional service, wrote several books of which Brihad Bhagavatamrita is very famous. Anyone who wants to know about the subject matter of devotees, devotional service, and Krishna must read this book. This is Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 5.203, translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. And then he says in another place, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 1.35, translation and purport of Srila Prabhupada. Regarding the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, there are two parts, both of which deal with the discharge of devotional service. The first part is an analytical study of devotional service in which there is also a description of different planets, including the earth, the heavenly planets, Brahmaloka and Vaikuntha-loka. There are also descriptions of devotees, including intimate devotees, most intimate devotees, and complete devotees like the gopis. The second part describes the glories of the spiritual world known as Goloka Mahatmya Nirupana, as well as the process of renunciation of the material world, just like how Gopakumar did. It also describes the real knowledge of devotional service, the spiritual world, love of Godhead, attainment of life's destination, and the bliss of the world. In this way, there are 7 chapters in each part, 14 chapters in all. These are the words of Srila Prabhupada. So with this, we end our Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita, and I request devotees, if you have any realizations or any comments or anything you want to add, please go ahead. And please forgive me for all the mistakes. Definitely, it has never been a perfect one. I beg forgiveness from all of you for all the several millions of mistakes that has been done through this entire narrative. Thank you so much for your time, association, and I hope everyone received some benefit out of this entire narration. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Preethi Vilasini Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Very wonderful nectarian. Now, this is one I like to add something. Is it okay?
Yeah.
See, when I read, I don't know if it's true or not, but because I have read a long time ago. So Gopakumar, wherever he went, he was in his same dress as Gopavesh. and also has his flute everywhere. So even though he took a position of Indra or Brahma or Indra, wherever, Lord Shiva, he became a king, and everywhere, wherever he went, and whatever position he attains, but still his dress is the same as a Gopakumar. This is
Very,
what I have remembered. I don't know if it's true or not.
yes, Mataji,
It
yes.
was a long time ago.
Yes, even in that, when he was sitting as Indra, also he was a cowherd boy sitting on the seat of Indra. Yes, yes, Mataji. So
Yeah.
beautiful. It is so beautiful.
And also when he enters in Vaikuntha and in the presence of Lord Narayan and Lakshmi, and so he just runs toward him, toward Narayan to embrace him. And he has his flute with him,
Yes,
always in his hand. Narayan takes the flute from him and holds his hand and takes him inside. This is what I remember.
yes,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna. It's very
Thank
wonderful.
you for adding
What would be the next?
that. We are thinking, Mataji,
And
because
what would be the next?
yeah, so we are just thinking we'll continue with Antya Leela because we have to finish Antya Leela. So we are just thinking we'll
Yeah.
open up Thursday for Antya Leela, and we can quickly, spend more time on Antya Leela. So, so we can just hold seminars for some time and then come back to it later. That's what we are thinking. If it's okay.
Maybe sometime, I don't know when, but if you think it's proper, about the Raghunath Das Goswami, it's a small book. It's from the Raghunath Das Goswami, yes.
Which
It's
one?
Mana Shiksha or something like that. It's very, very instructional book. And you can
We'll do.
elaborate on it very nicely. And
Yeah, we'll do that.
easily, then will be easily understood by me.
Yes, sure, Mataji. We'll take that up. As we are progressing with Antya Leela, we can ask
Yeah.
someone for Manashiksha.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Very good.
So we should be getting more and more nectar from you. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much for encouraging us, and definitely, it was your request to do Brihad Bhagavatamrta, and that's how we started off. So thank you so much. Very, very grateful to you.
Thank you for taking it and giving us more than what I have expected. Thank you very much.
All praise to Shri Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, a very nice class. So I have one question. Like you like when Krishna was born, like normally before he took the form of a little boy, why was he like instructing like not instructing but like why was he like telling his parents like instructions on what to do? Because after he like when he was when he took the form of a little boy, he obviously had to listen to like his parents, but like why was like Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, but like why was he instructing Devaki and Vasudev to like listen to him, like his orders and everything?
That's a sweet answer to that is that actually when Krishna was born, Krishna appeared in his four-armed form. So when he appeared in his four-armed form, Vasudev got really worried because he knew that Kamsa will now come and he'll realize that the Supreme Lord has appeared. So he immediately requests his little son, he understands that his son is the Supreme Lord. And he offers prayers to Krishna and he tells Krishna, you please retract your two arms and just be like an ordinary baby. Don't show this. So immediately Krishna listened. He was a young baby, right? Immediately he listened and he retracted his two arms and he became two arms. Then he told Vasudeva, Vasudeva, don't worry. You're scared of Krishna, Kamsa coming and killing me. So don't worry. This is the plan. You take me across the waters of the Yamuna and you leave me there with Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda and I'll be safe. So that's why he gave the instruction. Okay.
Okay, thank
First,
you,
he
Mataji.
listened to his father. When his father said, "You take away your two arms," he took it away.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Very nice class.
Thank you, Anushka. Very sweet questions.
Hare Krishna, Preethi, Vilasini, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj. Wonderful class, of course. Wonderful, synopsis of the whole class. You were apologizing for all the mistakes, but from the Srimad Bhagavatam, we know that there are no mistakes in the Bhagavatam. There's no mistakes in the Bhagavatamrta, and you have narrated them. So, in anything you say from that, there can't. How can there be mistakes in perfection, right? So, your narration was also perfect. We could always start all over, right? When you said, "What's next?" We'll probably glean even more from it. But this was the most wonderful journey. It was, especially for us who are. This is the first time I've ever read or listened to an entire, description of the Bhagavatamrta. I've heard of it. I've heard of it. It's about the story of Narada Muni. I heard about a story of Gopakumar, but that doesn't even touch on the heart of the whole matter. And this is such an important, scripture for especially us as devotees, because we always wonder, what is it like? And especially when the part that really affected me was when Gopakumar, even though he was Indra, Brahma, he was he was in Vaikunta, he wasn't happy. And I remember asking Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj a long time ago. He had given class, and I had always been under the impression that we that all of us are aspiring for just Goloka. But then he explained that some will go to Vaikunta, and there's no real you can't really compare that that's higher or lower. Whatever is perfect for you is perfect for you. And this perfectly exemplified it, because Gopakumar was not happy where he was, and so he had to go to embrace Krishna as the buddy, and so this was really, really beautifully instructed. A lot of things that our spiritual masters explained to us about Goloka, we now understand, because we see this journey of Gopakumar. So thank you so much. I loved it, and I'm like I said, it was a great, and it's a good reread. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. It's always nice to hear from you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Wow. What I wouldn't give to know all of these stories that you narrate as well as you do. I wish I could trade places. Only thing, I wouldn't want you to be in my place. But anyway, yeah, book 3. What is the why are we not doing book 3?
No. So how it is it's only 2 journeys. Okay, one is Narada's journey, the second one is Gopakumar's journey. That's all. But that book 2 is split into 2 volumes, meaning.
Okay. I'm sorry to cut you off. Yeah, please finish your sentence.
Yeah, that's all. So it's basically published in 2 books because it's so big, right? The journey of Gopakumar is double the story of the first story. Narada's journey was pretty short. Gopakumar's journey is double the size. So therefore, they had to publish it in 2 books. That's all.
I see. Yeah, just I was just trying to write down the list of people that Indra visited. So the first one was, I just missed. I think after the Brahmana came a king, right?
Huh?
After Narada Muni, he was going to each person successively, Mm-hmm. So after the initial Brahmana, then the next person he met was a king, right?
Yeah.
Which king was that?
He was a king from South India. That's all it says. It doesn't mention the name of the king or the exact city or the kingdom. It doesn't mention. It just says South India.
Okay, and then after the king, then came Indra?
Yes.
Okay, then Indra, then Lord Brahma, then Lord Shiva, and then the rest.
Yes.
Right. Okay, okay. So yeah, it was just the South Indian king. One question I had was, as you were saying, Sanatana Goswami, he admitted that it was not he himself who wrote this story.
Mm-hmm.
He was directed by Madan Mohan.
Mm-hmm.
But then he chastised himself for comparing, one devotee to another. So I was just trying to reconcile this.
No, yes, it was Madan Mohan who was inspiring him to write. And he says, oh, when I was writing, when I saw that I am actually comparing, and see, he's an instrument, right? Still, he's an instrument. And how do I have the audacity to make a comparison? As he was writing, he was thinking. That's all. So it's more like, he's trying to say through this that it is not really his intention to criticize or, make comparisons, because ultimately it was directed by the Lord. So that is what he's trying to say there. He's just trying to clarify.
Wait, no, I'm sorry. I wasn't able to follow. You said that even though he was directed by Madan Mohan, he felt that it was kind of impudent of him to be making these comparisons, but he's not making the comparison. So I think I missed.
Yeah, he's not making the comparison, and he's trying to clarify that. He's saying that though I'm being used as an instrument to write it down, it's not me. So I want to clarify that I don't want to be an impudent. How would I be impudent to get into this comparison mode? So he's only clarifying the point to us. That's all. That it's really not him.
Okay. So he wasn't actually chastising himself. He was saying, I wouldn't do such a thing.
Yes.
That's how you can know that it was not my own initiative. That's what. Okay. Thank you for the clarification. All right, and thank you for as always, telling stories so expertly as if you were eyewitness. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji, for your very kind words and for your association and wish.
Hare Krishna, Preethi Mataji. First of all, thank you again. All of your classes are just so magnificent. And I'm only sad that I was not there from the beginning to hear them all. So if you ever think about starting over, please let me know. I will be there. Every class that I was able to attend was just so beautiful. I found myself in tears so many times just listening to your narrations, and I'm so grateful for them. I also wanted to ask one question though. At the very end, when you were speaking about liberation and how Krishna drowned the residents of Vraja with love and removed their desire for liberation. And you gave certain reasons why liberation, is not what we should want. And of course, I know as devotees, it's not, but I want to hear those exact reasons that you gave, the way that you said it, because I missed a little bit of that.
Let me see what I have in my notes. Now, from another angle, just as the happiness available in heaven is an impediment for those who want liberation, the happiness of liberation is an impediment for those who want loving devotional service to Krishna. That distressful obstacle, that so-called happiness, Krishna effortlessly destroys for all the devotees spontaneously attracted to him in Vrindavan and elsewhere in Vrajabhumi. Simply by expanding his prema bhakti throughout Vrajabhumi, Krishna delivers the moving and non-moving residents of Vraja from the miseries of both material entanglement and impersonal liberation. Indeed, when Krishna expanded the flood of love of God in Braja, all moving and non-moving beings in the three worlds were relieved of the unhappiness of material existence. Just as fire lit for the sake of cooking also dispels cold and darkness, the spread of Krishna Bhakti automatically freed all living beings from material miseries as a secondary result. In fact, Krishna descended to Gokul on earth. He freed all the devotees throughout the universe from attraction to liberation, which they may obtain easily as yogis obtain siddhis. This freedom was an automatic byproduct of the unalloyed prema displayed in Rajabhumi. But even though all devotees in the universe were thus freed, the devotees living in Braja during Krishna's pastimes gained the fullest relief from all dangers of liberation and material entanglement. So this is the exact notes from Brihad Bhagavatamrta Mataji. I would have definitely worded it very differently, but I'm just reading.
No, that was beautiful. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful for you rereading all of that. Yes, and yes, I'm going to miss these classes. So, of course, the CC is always sweet, but yeah, this is actually one of my favorite texts. It was just the whole thing was nectarian, every part of it, just unbelievable. So thank you again. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I forgot to mention, Mataji, that I also vote for Manashiksha as your next task. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Vrinda Mataji.
Mataji, it's so sad that it has come to an end. I really like today's verses. Jayati Janani Vasu. That's such a beautiful verse. Yeah, I remember I had heard about it in Amarendra Prabhuji's class long ago. From that time, I'm just attracted to this verse. It's very beautiful, and it's always wonderful to hear about this verse. And how Janmejaya also glorifies, like he says, Krishna feels grateful when we show our devotion to him. Like, actually, there is no reason why he should feel grateful, right? But he's so great. That is also one beautiful verse. Thank you, and thank you so much for summarizing the entire book, Mataji. Thank you so much for that, because I know I joined it very late. So now I really want to read the book, and I would really watch all your previous videos. I would like to share something, like since when I started to join your classes of Brihad Bhagavatamrta, whenever I would go to any devotee's home, if I see the Brihad Bhagavatamrita book, I would just get attracted and I would take it and, oh, you have Brihad Bhagavatamrita, okay, and then I will just start reading. It happened many times.
That's so nice. Wonderful.
It's like I found a treasure now. Okay, let me go and see the book, because I had just heard. I had not even seen this before, actually, to be very honest. Then my Prabhu noticed that, and he ordered the book, and he surprised me with those books. He thought probably before she steals somebody else's book, I should give her own copy.
That's so sweet.
Point is, because of your classes, I really developed a taste for this book, Mataji. So thank you so much. All glories to your services, and all glories to your...
And all glories to your wonderful listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. I will really miss this Bhagavatamrita every Thursday. But thanks. I'm so thankful that all the videos are there. So yeah, I'm going to see all those. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Vrinda Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Lakshmi Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. It is a complete class, Mataji. No lack anywhere. Even if the person is going to listen for the first time, you'll get the complete essence. Because I missed so many classes. I was not from the beginning, as Vrinda Mataji said. So very nectarian class, Mataji. And Mataji, how do we connect the two parva, like both Bhaga, Purva Bhaga and Uttara Bhaga? So what is the connection between them, the link between them?
I think the only connection is that they are two independent stories of two different travelers. One traveler is Narada Muni, the other traveler is a person by the name Gopakumar. The first one is in search of the greatest devotee, and the second one is in search of the ultimate goal, which is the ultimate residence that one would want to attain. And the story of Gopakumar is being told to enlighten us on the existence of Goloka Vrindavan. And what happens in Goloka Vrindavan. That was the ultimate goal of speaking both. One is who are the greatest devotees, which is the ultimate abode. So for that, two different travels are being mentioned.
Nice, Mataji. So when a great and highest devotee is found, what will be the place that he wish to go?
Yes. Where are these devotees existing actually? If this is the highest devotee, where do these devotees exist and what happens there? What do they do there?
Yes. Yeah, that connects, Mataji. Thank you so much. And Mataji, this Gopakumar, was he in the Krishna Leela? Who was in the Krishna Leela? Well, Krishna was in, like in Vrindavan, in Dwapar Yuga.
No, he was not in Krishna Leela. He had appeared later.
Oh, okay. Okay, Mataji, then one more point. I'm just asking out of curiosity. You mentioned a point that Gopakumar was very much missing the Vrindavan Krishna. And you said even in Dwaraka, Krishna missed the cowherd boy's role. So like my question was, why don't he visit? Why don't he go there and visit and do it and come? Why does he miss it?
He's the same. He's the same. Just like when you're grown up, right? Sometimes you may miss your college days, right? Sometimes you may miss your college days. So Lakshmi in college was so nice and she was so much fun, right? You think like that. I wish I could go back to my college days like that.
Okay. The age there's a difference. Okay.
Yeah, but the point is, Lakshmi in her college days is the same as the Lakshmi who is there now in Bhakti Sangha. But she doesn't independently exist as one Lakshmi in college days and one Lakshmi in Bhakti Sangha simultaneously. Independent existence simultaneously is not there for Lakshmi, but for Krishna it's there.
Okay. So Dwaraka Krishna is fully in Dwaragatish mode. So he's missing that role. But still he is there. He is independently existing. Yeah. That's nice, Mataji. And Mataji, the final conclusion you gave was so wonderful, Mataji, that you said a devotee never dies, and every day something new happens in devotee's life. Which is never boring. So it makes so sense, Mataji, because in Golok Vrindavan, Krishna is there, and every day it is something new experience for them. They don't get bored or they don't miss anything. So in our life, when Krishna is with us, if we are making little bit advancement daily, as you said, a little bit advancement, we'll experience excitement. We'll be enjoying. But when someone says it's boring, then it means they're not making an advancement. So it is not the problem that God is not giving the enjoyment. Actually, they're not proceeding or they're not taking the next step. So that conclusion was so beautiful, Mataji. We have to take Krishna into our life, so we make little advancement, and every day is like Golok Vrindavan. We can be experiencing the excitements with Krishna. So that was so wonderful, Mataji, the conclusion. And yeah, that's all, Mataji. Thank you so much for the class. And again, I too have to start from the first class because I have the book, so I can refer to the book and read it. Thank you for your service, Mataji, for 2 years. You have been so sincere in giving this service. I pray to Krishna for all good for you, Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Jai Sachinandana.
So sweet of you, Mataji. So kind of you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat pranams. All glories to your service, Mataji. It's been such a precious journey, and as everybody said, I also missed bits and pieces of your classes, and we are fortunate that your videos are on. And I sincerely pray that you do more and more and more devotional service and inspire all of us, Mataji. It's definitely blissful to hear from you. I think the last few classes after Gopakumar's journey, you were talking about Brajavasis, Gopas, Gopis, the demons, then Nanda Maharaj, Yashodama. I mean, those were really nectar. I mean, not only that, my takeaway is that so Gopakumar, I think, as Mataji previously mentioned, he was not happy. Uh, he was not basically happy anywhere. And Krishna, I mean, even in that period where he visited Vaikunta or Ayodhya or any other place for that matter, he was always in that meditation and meditation on Krishna. I think that is what Krishna was longing for. He wanted to know how deeply he was in love with him and how much he was hankering for. I think Krishna likes that hankering and eagerness from a devotee. He always looks for that, and he wants to see how much feelings the devotee has for him. And I think he relishes that so much. And that was seen in Gopakumar pretty much, because why should, we would think, why would Krishna has to, make him go through big roundabout and then have him come to Goloka Vrindavan. And it is also helping us to understand that you may be happy if you are having a spiritual deha of some place, or if you're attracted to Krishna's form in some way, be it Vaikunta or Ayodhya or Dwaraka, you will be happy only in that place. You cannot be happy anywhere else. And Gopakumar's destination, being a cowherd boy, he always wanted to be there. And this roundabout actually helps us understand the moods, because I remember this pastime from I think he visited Vaikunta, and there he was addressing Lord Vishnu in "Hey Gopala, hey Krishna." And obviously, the Vaikunta Vasis, they were not happy about it, and they said, "You have to respect him. You have to. This is not the way we address him." And then and then Gopakumar realized, oh, okay, but this is not what I want to do. And he had a different mindset, obviously. So he was corrected at several times, and then his hankering increased more and more and more. And definitely, it's been a great journey. And the feelings that Gopakumar had for Krishna is so much so revealed in Brihad Bhagavatamrta. And because of you, we were able to release the nectar. Thank you once again, Mataji. Hari Bol to you, and Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Such a beautiful, beautiful realization, Radhika Mataji. So nice to see and hear from you.
I really wanted to make it a point to show my face, because today being a last class, I wanted to appreciate your sincere efforts. And this is for you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for coming. Very good.
Hare Krishna, Preethi, Vilasini, Dasi, Vilasini, Dasi, Koti Koti Dandavat Pranam. You explained that if I made any mistake, please forgive us. Mataji, please forgive us if I miss some your class, and if we are not hearing attentively. So we are asking forgiveness from you, Mataji. You explain from your heart, Mataji, all the leelas from first day. I also miss 4-5 class for that. Please forgive me. And when I hear that time also, sometimes not attentively hearing. So please forgive us, Mataji. How nicely today you from first Edgy Lalitangi Gopi, from first class to end Sushi Dwarkadish and Sisi Dwarka Dham and Shidam Vrindavan Dham, Sisi Gokul Mathura Dham, and all the Leelas, and finally that Gokumara is so happy in a Shidam Vrindavan Dham, in a Gopas, with all Gopas, and with given a service, and taking service from Yasodamaya, and with all the cows, Mataji. And one Leela you are explaining, Mataji. We are not qualified to enter in any Leelas, Mataji, but you explain so deep devotional, Mataji, when you are explaining when you are explaining Leela, Mataji, we are still not qualified. But how sincerely you explain Leela, that we totally involved in that Leela, and we feel that Leela, because your japa is one day me and one Mataji, I forgot her name, we both are going Mangla Aarti 2 months. So Mataji, she tells that that time I not know much. Preethi Vilasini is Chalti Firti Library. And yes, Mataji, you are Chalti Firti Library. Not only one, wherever you are going, I have seen in Atlanta, you make one round and start Katha Krishna Katha. And one thing I note down that you always make a note of Krishna Katha. So I learned from you that every day we have to make a note. Vishwarup Prabhu or Kishori Mataji or Chidam Prabhu told, but we are not following. So fallen soul. We have so many responsibility. Now we are free. So we will make a note. And please, G. Komati ki Mata said that please start another Leela Mataji. And we need your association, Mataji. We are so fallen soul. Mataji, we need your association. Please give your blessing and association. And at least we read 15 minutes. We are not so much highly qualified Vaishnava, but for our own purification, we read 15 minutes Srila Prabhupada book. Please pray for us. Please pray for us कि ये सर हमेशा संतों और भक्तों की चरण में नमा रहे और ये फिजिकल बॉडी साथ दे या ना दे. हमें जो राधा रानी ने सेवा दी है वो हम सेवा पूरे तन मन धन से करें. क्या फर्क पड़ेगा माता जी, एक सीता प्रिया रानी, एक सीता प्रीति एक वृंदावन धाम से दूसरे वृंदावन धाम जा रही है, पर 100 सीता प्रीति दासी को यहाँ मतलब उनके हृदय में सीड्स बो के जा रही है माता जी. तो प्लीज प्रे फॉर अस दैट we take some responsibility and help you in Srila Prabhupada and Srila Gurudev Seva. Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki jai. Hare Krishna, please forgive us if we are not here attentively.
Thank you, Mataji. You always pour out your heart. So beautiful, Mataji. What forgiveness you're talking about. You are always, you are one of the best listeners. You're so consistent. You always listen. You always make notes. You're very, very inspiring to all of us. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your association. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Preeti Vilasini Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Dandavat. Thank you so much for this 2-year-long session, Mataji. It was such a beautiful journey, both Narada Munis and Gopakumars. And for you to explain and to elaborate on the Brihad Bhagavatamrta and to give us the whole lecture was our great fortune, Mataji. Thank you so much for completing this. Really indebted to you for, because the way you have shared it, it just increases all of our attraction towards the Lord, and it's just been so beautiful, Mataji. Thank you. I really appreciate all that you have done. And your narration style is definitely very so attractive. It's very attractive that, when Gopakumar is in anxiety, we are also in anxiety, and he doesn't like a place, we also feel the same way. So it's just been very beautiful journey. It's sad that we are concluding it, but I'm so glad that we got to finish it and got to see it till the end. And I'm really waiting for your next adventure. What are you going to do next? So looking forward to hearing more sessions from you, Mataji. Thank you so much. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Indu Mataji. Thank you for being so sweet and for your support all the time, for the beautiful questions you ask, for giving us your association so consistently, and for making this journey so wonderful. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, and all glories to your wonderful, wonderful service. I was not sure I'll be able to talk. I sent a message.
I saw a message. I was thinking I should read it at the end or something. You came. I want to see it. Yeah.
No. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much, because it has really been such a wonderful journey. I remember, I don't know when, but I told Ray I joined Bhakti Sangha just accidentally.
Yeah.
I had Nita Sevani Mataji's class, and then I joined it, and I did not even know what exactly Bhakti Sangha was. And then when I came to know that, because it's Guru Maharaj's instruction, like you should be reading Srimad Bhagavatam and then the Chaitanya Charitamrita also. And then Brihad Bhagavatamrita was a cherry on the top. I was like so happy that like Lilamrita is done and Chaitanya Charitamrita is done, Brihad Bhagavatamrta is done, like everything under one roof. So, and you made the journey so easy because I'm sure like when we read the verses and everything, it is really hard to understand like the intricacies or the exact bhav, exact mood of because we can when we read by ourselves, it will be making more offenses to it by not understanding it properly. And as we like Guru Maharajas also say, right, like when you have to read Bhagavatam, you have to read it through a pure devotee. And that is basically what you have done, Mataji.
I don't know if
Really,
I can that, but it's all when someone is listening with so much intent and intent to grasp. It's always nice. It's up to the listener, Mataji. It's only your glory.
we're just waiting for something else from you now, Mataji. You have to get ready. You take a break, but then you get ready for something else because we would really, as I think Paneshwari Mataji had only said, right? Like grandmother story time. And this is monsoon season coming up. So nice popcorn in the hand. With a nice cup of milk or something, and then having listening to stories cuddled up. Really, Mataji, very grateful to you for all your services because I know how much of efforts you have taken for this, the number of notes and compiling it together. And today also, when you were giving the summary, it was like such a nice flow chart that you went through one after the other. Otherwise, if we tell us, oh no, 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 this was the first. Oh no, 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 that was the first. Nothing of that sort. No stumbling in between. And you have really, really like what you say, no? You have like drank that nectar, and
Yeah.
so it is so easily flowing through you. Anything you touch it, you make it like the Monday classes of kids, Bhagavatam classes, the Bhagavad Gita classes. They are so good. They are so good to make it so easy. And this also you make it so easy to understand. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. And thanks to Bhakti Sangha for having it recorded so that we can always go back to it and listen to it. Really, really grateful to you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
So thank you for everything, Mataji. Thank you for so many things. And I don't know if I'm worthy of anything, but really, really very grateful to you for your association. And I'm very humbly thank you for everything that you've given us. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Behalf of all Vaishnavas, Sita Preeti, we also miss your association. How nicely you narrating all the Leelas, all the small, small story from Sisi
Yeah,
Bhagavatam.
kids.
You are involved in the Leelas and making puppet and so much involved. All kids
Okay.
are involved and like sugar coated pills. How nicely you narrating us, Mataji. We never forget your seva and try our best to follow your instruction and to follow you, Mataji. Koti Koti Danvat Pranam to your sincere seva, Sita Preeti Dasi. Whether it's in a kitchen seva, or whether it's a kid seva, or whether it's Sisi Bhagavatam seva, or especially I learned from you that management. That was hardest job. When there is a kids class, you manage so nicely and you're not taking yourself all the class. You inspiring Vrinda Gopi, you inspiring the Vinita Mataji, Gandharvi Mataji, you inspiring other new coming Mataji for cooking, for teaching Shishi Bhagavatam, teaching Shishi small Bhagavad Gita sloka or translation. Mataji, this is the best Vaishnava, those who engage the Vaishnava in the seva. Not only like you are managing, but not you are leader. You are making leaders small, small, not one but 10 to 15 leaders. And our Pandav seva also. So we learn so many things, Sita Preeti. So many things from you. Koti Koti Danvat Pranam to your seva. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, this is all learned from Bhakti Sangha. It is nothing from me. I'm learning, learning, learning. And please forgive any mistakes from my side. And I please pray that I continue with my services, Mataji.
Of course,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Of course. Of course. You will.
Hare Krishna, Preethi Vilasini Mataji.
Oh, Vinita Mataji, thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much for doing so much work in the background. Thank you.
Mataji, it was so nice seeing the pictures when you are narrating it. It was really, really very nice, Mataji. It really helped me also to understand exactly what you are explaining, and the pictures also made me clear to go from the beginning of the story till the end of this story. It's very, very nice, Mataji. And your summary, even though if I did not understand any classes because of my shortcomings, today's class, if I hear it 10 times, I will definitely know what is Bhagavatamrta, Mataji. And that's because of my shortcoming, because I have less, this thing, I cannot concentrate on hearing continuously. Sometimes my brain goes in and out. So that is my problem. So I have to hear again and again. But today's class is really very nice, especially last 30 minutes. If we hear, it's all Bhagavatamrta is completely covered, Mataji. Thank you so much.
That was possible by your mercy. Thank you so much.
No, Mataji, it's everything you did, Mataji, and you just told me to just protect it. I did not do anything, Mataji. And really, thank you, Mataji. I really understood today's most of the class, but I would like to hear it again twice or thrice so that mostly I could completely understand. I get the philosophy, Mataji. Little bit, not like everybody who heard attentively, but maybe little bit I also may get because of Krishna's mercy and devotees all mercy, Mataji. Really, really wonderful, Mataji. Very nice journey. All these 2 years, it was so nice, Mataji. Waiting for hearing your CC classes again, Mataji. Until Leela, Haribol.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much, Vinita.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Haribol.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for bringing this Victorian class, Mataji. So I was not there from starting, but the when I have joined, able to understand little bit. Thank you so much for your effort, Mataji, and amazing journey. I think so. Everyone was saying that like amazing journey. So we would have also felt little bit in that journey. And we love to hear more from you, Mataji. Thank you so much. And special thanks for everyone for this so much effort, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Radhika Mataji, and thanks to Anshu, yourself, and Karthik for always being there with us. Thank you. Thank you so much for your association, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hi, Krishna Mataji. I'm back again. Sorry to keep coming back, but I've heard a couple of people say that this has been going on for 2 years. Because I am just so shocked, because I guess this is another testament to your narrating talents, because I would have guessed maybe some months, under a year, not 2 years. That is really, really amazing. Wow, that you make time fly like that. Anyway, I just had to say that. Thank you so much. And thank you also to not only to all the behind the scenes energy that you put into, making such valuable presentations, but also I would like to also thank, those who, put their energy into getting these lectures, yours as well as everybody else's, recorded so that we can, rehear and catch up on anything that we did miss. It's such an invaluable service. So I just really want to thank all those people who are responsible for the recordings, because it's really our life or my life, Thank you to everyone. Hare Krishna.
They put in so much effort and so much time in putting recordings in YouTube and Facebook, and then downloading, uploading, lot of work, and a lot of keeping stuff, putting them in Drive, putting them in order, sending it to different places. So much background work.
All glories to Vinita Mataji and Radhika Mataji.
Okay. Yeah, it's good to have names for those services, and just again repeating how invaluable your service is. So thank you to Vanita Mataji, and you said Radhika Mataji?
Radhika Kasturi Mataji, yes.
Yeah, Vinita
Radhika
Mataji.
Kasturi.
Even Indu Mataji helps, the one who's talking. She also helps with live classes. And then there is a team who takes care of the drive. Once the recording is sent by Vinita Mataji and Radhika Mataji, there is a team that takes care of the drive. Again, some of the names overlap. Vinita, Radhika, and then there's Vardhana Mataji, Srinivas Prabhu, and Lakshmi Mataji. They send it to ISKCON Desiratory. And then these guys take care of YouTube. Vinita, Indu Mataji, Radhika Mataji, they all do the YouTube stuff. And a lot of, yeah. And then announcements are sent, as you know, by Sita Preethi Mataji and Radhika, the other Radhika Mataji. She also sends announcements. Supriya Mataji also sends some. So there are a lot of people, Mataji, yes, a lot of hard work. And I don't know, I must have missed everyone's name actually. There are so many people, I've missed the names, I'm sorry. But yeah, a lot of people are there.
Yes, there's a lot of work and a lot of time.
Yeah.
And the time that you can't get back. So I just feel that it's invaluable service, or whatever time and energy that everyone is putting into doing this, giving the classes and doing the recordings is so well worth it. So well worth it. So appreciated by all of us. So thank you again. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji, for such nice words. Thank you. Okay, Mataji, so if there are no other questions, comments, or realizations, we can end the call. Thanks to everyone for joining, and thanks for the beautiful comments on the chat as well. Thank you, Mataji. We can end the call here, and we'll continue our Chaitanya Charitamrita, and eventually we can start Mana Shiksha by the mercy of all the devotees. So we'll end the call here. Vancha kalpataru darsha kripa sindhu bhyavacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Brihad Bhagavatamrta ki jai, Shri Sanatan Goswami ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees.
Preethi Vilasini Mataji ki jai.
All of you. For the
Jai.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol Mataji, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna Mataji, thank you so much. Hari Bol.
Thank you so much.